Rain is here, and it's election day. Welcome to the Completely Unnecessary Podcast for Tuesday. Like I said, election day. I looked down. November 8th, 2022. It's Mariah Carey season again.
It's always Mariah Carey
That's
season.
Ian Ferguson and this great True Classic t-shirt. I'm Pat Contry. On the show today, we're talking about we got stuff going on.
We got stuff to talk about.
We got more Heritage Auction results. We have
Billy Mitchell back in the news.
Mitchell. Standard Time sucks, which we'll get into, and more. I love Columbo. We talked about Columbo a bit.
Yep.
I've started watching it on Freevee, whatever that is. Listen to that if you want on the exclusive podcast, patreon.com/CU podcast.
You know what
Nothing matters with Pat and Ian. What do you love, Ian?
I love the NBA app.
Yeah, it's solid. Like I said, they upgraded. If you had it last year, Ian,
I did not.
It was very different on the TV. It was bad.
I've never used apps for sports for anything. But I downloaded it yesterday because I was going to go play pinball. There's a tournament tonight, so I wanted to go practice a little bit. But I wanted to watch the Pistons game. So I downloaded the app, signed into League Pass. And, watching it on the phone is watching it on the phone, but it was... Honestly, I think there were less hiccups on the phone than there were on the PC.
Wow.
In terms of streaming. And I wasn't streaming it from a network either. I was like streaming it at the bar, and it was coming through smooth.
Do you have the live stats option like you do on the TV? On TV, you click a button, you get the stats updated for every player.
Oh, really?
Goes, yeah.
I don't know.
Very interesting.
But the one thing I did do that I know people have been doing forever, so welcome me into modern times. I set up the app to send me notifications on how teams are doing, so I don't have to if I'm out, I get tip off, first quarter update, halftime update, third quarter, game end, and then highlights.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
you got to see Detroit take on the defending champions. And Curry strapped the team on his back.
No, Detroit didn't take him on. No, last night was Kings.
Oh, that's right, it was Kings. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was rooting for the Kings.
Detroit, they played them last week?
Yeah, and they did win against Golden State.
Right. It was the end of the back-to-back.
And then they won against OKC last night. They only have 3 wins.
That's right. You follow the Kings because you're a weirdo. That's right. You like the Kings.
I don't follow them, but they're my California exception, and I will root for them as long as they are not playing against a team that I am more dedicated to.
Like the Pistons.
The hierarchy goes like Pistons, Blazers, and then I just like a lot of teams, but the Kings.
Blazers are doing well this year so far.
Blazers are doing
People weren't
fantastic
expecting that. Dame is back, and he's healthy.
I think they're 7-3 right now. Pistons are 3-7. You advanced to 4-7 last night.
Well, not me personally, but yes.
Yeah, and Lakers. Oh, did the Lakers lose last night?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they lost.
Fuck yeah, so they are worse than the Pistons.
Oh, no, Lakers aren't going anywhere.
I know, but I'm just Pistons are better than the Lakers, and that makes me happy. I'm rooting for the lower parts of the bracket here.
I think LeBron might be hurt. He's not himself. Either that or Father Time finally caught up to him. It happens. It's happening with Brady right now, where you can't play forever. Kareem played till he was 40, 41. You can't do it forever. LeBron's going to turn 38. And he's been playing in the league 20 years almost. This is 20 season. That's a lot of wear and tear.
Are the Lakers the worst team in the NBA right now?
I don't know. You can look it up.
They're 2-8.
I was going to say we're back on standard time here in the U.S. And I'm a proponent for getting rid of standard time and going to daylight savings, which means that it's darker in the morning and it's lighter at night. That's why it's called daylight savings. I think. I don't know why they chose it. So earlier in March this year, we were happy that the Senate unanimously passed the law saying that we were going to get done with going back and forth.
Yes.
That this would be technically the last time we'd go through this cycle, that once we sprung forward, spring 2023, that'd be it. We'd be done with this charade. I didn't realize it never went to the House for a vote. So now it's in jeopardy of not happening at all because the House won't even bring it to a vote on the floor because it seems like Congress people don't know what their constituents want. And it's like, why don't you fucking find out? You've had several months. The Senate knows. The Senate, unanimous. It was 98-0. I don't know the 2 people that didn't vote on it, or whatever it was. Can we get done with this? It sucks. Your sleep gets fucked with. I was more tired in the first day and a half of this. Our circadian rhythms are all screwy because of this. And the only argument I hear for keeping this around is because of school children in the morning being too dark. That's the only argument I have ever heard for still going through this bullshit every year. That's it.
Yes, which I think they'll be fine. They're going to be fine. They'll live. They're going to be fine.
Most will live. Here's the point. If you're that concerned, start classes later. Do that. Start your work later if you're concerned about being dark in the morning. Because it screws with everyone else's lives on the planet.
I think the bigger problem is that the one that I hear about is that people in the middle states, like the flyover states, they're going to get hit the most. Like, I think that they won't see sunlight until something like 9 or 9:30 or something ridiculous like that. There's a few spots in the U.S. where
in the morning.
Yeah, where it will be dark for a very, very long time in the morning. And I think
later at night.
Yeah. So,
it evens out. It's the same amount. Mexico got rid of it. They got rid of it. They're done with this going back and forth stuff. They're done. And there's many states that have already voted to get rid of it. Arizona doesn't do it. Arizona, part of the year, it's exactly on San Diego time, and then they're an hour ahead other parts of the year. So they don't do it anymore. I hope more and more states do it to force the states have voted on it to get rid of it if it federally goes through. But Arizona somehow does it on their own. I don't know why.
Right.
But I wish states would just say, screw it. We're going to just start doing it. We're going to just do it on our own, and the states all unionize and do it. That's what I hope. Because if you look up the sleep patterns and the psychology, it's bad for people. It's bad.
Sure.
It's bad.
Lots of people are like, oh, gaining an hour of sleep is better, but it still screws you up.
No, it gets lighter earlier, so then you're going to get up earlier. And then at night, you get depressed more because of the darkness. And then someone brought an argument be about it leads to more accidents at night because you're driving in more darkness, especially coming home from work. You're more likely, especially it happened to my father. He hit a deer with his car once, totaled his car. That happens in some of the states.
Oh, Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
All the time.
So you're risking that end of it.
That's super common.
Because instead of it getting dark at like at 7 or 7:30 or 6, now it's getting dark at 4:30 or 5, and people are driving home at 6, and it's a lot harder, and it sucks. I'm sorry. There's going to be a few people in the comments say we're crazy and this is why, but I think 90% of people want to get rid of this.
I think a lot of people do want to get rid of it. It's old-fashioned and pointless.
Spring forward and we're done. And if we're worried about little school children, well, adjust the school schedule. Have them start school at like 8:30 instead of 7:30 or whatever. I think I used to start school at what time I used to start school? Like 7:50 grammar school.
I think that's what time I started high school. It was like 7:55. I think was home.
Because I used to get picked up in the bus like 7:25.
Because I'd get there at like 7:30.
I used to get picked up like 7:20, 7:25. Get to school at like 7:40, something like that. God, I used to start school so early. Thinking back, I used to get up for high school at 6 a.m. or before. I think it was 6. Yeah, I think.
I'd get up at 6:30, shower. It took me 7 minutes to walk to school.
Oh, you walked to school back in my day.
Oh, it was like I said, 7 minutes. It's like 3-4 blocks away. It took no time.
Well, public schools always started later than private schools because we would.
This is public. I started at 7:55.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that was early. Then I think I started early. I think I started 7:30. High school. It was early.
Okay, yeah. I mean that. Sure,
but we got out at like 2. We got out like about.
Yeah, I didn't get out until like 2:55. I think
we got out 1:50 or 1:55 was ever for 2. So whatever. What else is going on? Let's get through this podcast. Twitter's a mess.
Twitter's an absolute mess.
We'll see where it goes. I'm
just having fun watching Elon Musk tweet through it because he's
destroying it every day. Supposedly there was a really bad call with advertisers because all the advertisers
and some of the advertisers, when he was talking about like that meeting, he was misrepresenting it, and some of the advertisers came at him and was like, "No, this is what happened in the meeting." Elon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then he blocked the one advertiser.
So Elon overpaid. He bought Twitter for $44 billion. Estimates he overpaid by $25 billion because he's a dummy. I mean, he's a dummy. It's never been a profitable business.
Nope.
So he'll never break even on it. It's just how much money is he going to lose. So they're going to do this $8 verification thing. Before now, like I'm verified my main account. Ian was before he could.
No, I wasn't.
I was
never verified. I never went after it.
So you're verified, meaning that no one can impersonate you. And that was for journalists, for public figures, for politicians, for governments,
right?
So that no one can fuck around. But that's what it was for. Now it's going to be for anyone who pays $8 a month.
Yep.
Which could lead to haywire because now people could register and then do something and try to impersonate, it'll be a lot harder to know what's going on there, and it's just a bad idea. And
I think the bigger problem is he says, "Oh, long gone is the lords and serfs method for
lords and serfs.
Twitter."
You guys, people pay money for something that was a free.
Right, exactly. So now it really is like it's hilarious. Now you're asking people to pay money for something, and he said, algorithm, ads, priority of replies and whatnot is all going to be based on whether or not you have the check mark or not. So
you're monetizing.
He's an incredibly huge idiot. You're literally separating it into two classes: the haves and the have-nots on Twitter.
You're monetizing. You're basically dividing free speech by if you're paying or not. And then people say, "Well, Pat, if you have money, you shouldn't worry about it." If you're it's not just rich people that are verified. It's people that are journalists in like smaller countries, third world nations. It's very important for these people to stay verified for lots of different regions. So there's not a lot of misinformation out there. People don't misrepresent them or impersonate them. So it's bad. It's bad. And now the advertising is going to be gone, supposedly going forward.
Apparently the advertisers have been leaving in droves.
Oh yeah. They had, like I said, they had a meeting. And then supposedly on the spot during the call, advertisers pulled their ads out.
Oh yeah, they were like adjusting budgets during the meeting and pulling stuff.
Twitter, people overemphasize. I think it's underemphasized at some points. But Twitter, not everyone's on Twitter still. Yes, a lot of people use it, but not everyone's on it so much so that the advertisers need it.
No, they don't
to advertise. That's the key. This is pocket change to Coca-Cola to advertise on Twitter. Pocket change. They don't need Twitter to sell Coca-Cola or to sell Audis or to sell, luxury cars.
From what I'm reading, a lot of it is holdovers from, just individual people developing good business relationships with these companies at Twitter, and they constantly kept up on them. They'd be like, "Hey, advertise with us." And they're like, yeah, sure, here's some money. But now those people are gone.
So I don't know.
All of your contacts are gone.
And then a lot of people are going to refuse to do the $8. I don't think I will. I think it's not that it's insulting, but Stephen King had a great tweet. It's like, you should be paying me to write content because like the people are the content on Twitter.
Yeah,
we are the content. We produce the content that people want to read or interact with. That's the difference. Now you're making us customers when we are the reason the platform exists in the first place. The same thing with YouTube. Is if you charge people to upload on YouTube, it would be weird to do that.
From what I have heard, if you previously had a check mark, they will not take it away if you do not pay.
Oh.
He was originally saying that you would have to pay for it, but now it seems like they are doubling back on that.
Because they realize, like, if people like Taylor Swift leave the platform and big famous people, like, they're the reason people interact with it. Like, it'd be insulting to say, "Hey, Taylor Swift, pay $8. Hey, LeBron James, pay $8 a month." You'd be like, "What? Like, what are you kidding me? Like, why would I do that? Like, why would I do that?
Absolutely not.
I'm the reason the platform is popular." Like, that's what these people would say. So we'll see. Is Twitter too big to fail? I don't know. We've seen other social media platforms come and go.
I do not think it's too big to fail. I don't think any social media platform is too big to fail.
It's been ingrained now for like 13 years, though, like 14 years, almost 15 years. So I don't know.
It's useful, and I think people are not going to vacate it as quickly as people think, because it's been run like shit before. I think it's comforting for a lot of people.
Sure.
Mastodon's overly confusing. Not a lot of people like Discord. No one wants to go back to Facebook.
Tribal is another one that starts to come up. One I don't know.
So we'll I guess we'll see on that.
But nothing's too big to fail. Everyone was on MySpace at one point. Every single person was on MySpace. And like you said, Facebook has fallen out of favor. Young people are not on Facebook. That's like watching cable news, Facebook. So we'll see. You talking about your Marvel Snap experiences here?
Yeah, I'll kind of rush through it, but I've been playing a lot of Marvel Snap. Marvel Snap, if you've been online anywhere, you probably have not been able to avoid people talking about it or ads for it. It's a card battler that goes extremely quickly. It's 6 turns. That's it. And everything is played at the same time. So cards are flipped at the same time. It's not turns. It's not like I take a turn and you take a turn and I take a turn and you take a turn. It's play your cards face down, reveal them at the same time. I really enjoyed it. Basically, there's 3 bases. The goal is to control 2 or 3 of the bases at the best out of 3 at the end of the 6th rounds.
Okay.
your first turn you start with 1 point of power, and each turn after it adds another point of power. So your first turn you can play 1 point of power cards. Your second turn you have 2 points of power, so you can play 2 1 power cards or 1 2 power card, and then 3, 4, 5, 6. And obviously, as it goes higher, those cards get more popular. A really fun game. I think it's fantastically crafted. The rules are great. It's fun. But problematically, I bought in for 1 season pass, $9.99, because I wanted to just kind of see how it would play. When you pay a little bit of money, and season passes are how so many of these free-to-play games work. Battle Pass is basically where, as you go up in rank, it's a set ladder. So every time you achieve something, you get free stuff. You get gold, you get credits, or you get you
grind
get a card
out.
or something. Right. It's to incentivize the grind. Like I said, the game is fun, but obviously I can see power creep happening. There is a small pool of cards since your deck is only made out of 12 cards. So things are starting to feel samey.
Only 12?
Yeah, you get 6 turns.
That's it. Okay.
You start with 3 cards drawn, and then at the start of the first turn you draw 1 more. So you start with 4 cards in your hand.
Okay.
So there's 3 cards each game that won't be drawn for you. But yeah, I think power creep is going to set in. Things are getting a little samey because of the small pool of cards. It's a great idea, but I still think that going free to play on just about anything, it's not something I can buy into, especially when it's not exactly pay to win. But if you don't pay, you're not really, you're going to stay in silver rank and use the same cards over and over again, and you're going to lose interest.
Gotcha.
So I'd love to see what the updates bring. I'd love to check the game out in 6 months and see where it is. On Steam, they are calling it in early access. So, this is, I guess they're still kind of considering this a tryout period. Hopefully they'll fix some of the issues.
Hopefully. Sega Genesis 2 Mini is out. First impressions are out. I think people like it. Yep. I guess.
It's been getting good impressions. People seem to enjoy it. It's an interesting selection of games. I have not got one. You haven't got one.
I forgot about it was coming out. I don't have the first one, do I? No. Why didn't I get the first one? I forget. But they're available. They're not.
You gave me the first one and then weirdly kept the accessories.
Oh, that's right. So I was nice to Ian, but I kept the accessories. I kept the Sega Saturn, the Sega CD Tower thing. Okay. Netflix is announcing a Gears of War movie and cartoon.
This just seems like past the point in time where Gears of War was popular. I feel like it's kind of, it seems like too late to do this. I mean, I know there was comics that were very popular, and I know they just released games. They released Tactics in 2020, and then Part 5 was 2018. But I feel like the heyday of its popularity was clearly during the Xbox 360 era.
Or like it peaked like maybe 10 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not that it's a series that no one likes, but I just don't see it having that red hot popularity to push, a movie and support a cartoon, especially when like something even bigger like Halo, was met with when they did the TV show, it was largely met with derision.
Oh. Well, I don't know how many people saw it, though. Obviously, there's people that had problems with the main character, and then I guess the pacing and the effects on it. It's tough to do that sort of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking about like must have been. I don't know if it was cheap. Like what happened? Like we don't have a Fortnite animated series, do we? Like everyone would watch that.
I feel like that would make more sense, especially if you could work the licensing in like they do in the game to have like guest characters, like the Street Fighter characters or Marvel characters or Dragon Ball characters.
I can't picture other hardcore Gears of War fans saying, "I'm going to watch the animated Gears of War."
I'm sure there are, and like I said, no offense if you love that series. It seems like way too late for this.
Just another slap in my Unreal face. That's all. That's all. Wouldn't be Gears of War if it wasn't for Unreal. Ridiculous. I mean, look at the character designs of Gears of War and the characters in Unreal Tournament. You go back and you look at those character designs.
By the time you get to Unreal Tournament 3, they're basically Gears of War.
Yeah, they're the same
War characters
at that point. and those games come out, between a year apart. But yeah, you can always play Unreal in third person. No one did it, but you could if you wanted to. On the replays, was always in third person. But anyway, I'll get that game eventually. I'll get it. I'll get the funding. I'll buy the rights. I'll finish the fucking alpha that existed for 5 years at this point. I forgot to mention that on the Sega Genesis Mini 2 stuff.
Oh,
that Sega or someone from Sega, someone sent it. I forget who sent it. I'm sorry. They sent did a Peter Falk version. That's confusing me. They sent out a tweet asking what the next mini should be. It's like, should we do the
Dreamcast
SG 1000 or the Mark II or the SG? And then a couple of things I never heard of. And then obviously Dreamcast was on the list along with Sega Saturn. And it's like, if they're going to do another one, it'll probably be Dreamcast. I don't know if they will. I think we're getting to at the point where people are caring less and less about these. We've had all the big 8 and 16-bit ones come out. We've had several of these. We have 7 or 8 mainstream ones. I'm not even counting the Neo. Am I counting the Neo Geo arcade stick ones? I don't know, but there's been a lot of these, and I think we're running out. I think it's almost like the standalone Pong crash that kind of happened in the late 70s.
Sure.
It's like, how many of those do you want laying around?
I do think a Dreamcast one would do well. I think a Saturn one would be too niche.
Yeah, probably. Maybe you can combine them, but no, the emulation is different. That's right. The emulation sucks on Saturn compared to everything.
They're two very different.
Get that Jaguar Mini out. That would be interesting. We talked about that before. I think we talked about that.
We don't need one. I mean, the interesting thing is, I mean, and we can promote this. That Atari 50th collection comes out on Friday.
I got to order that. I'm going to order that.
Yeah. I'm definitely buying that.
I'll get the
Digital
physical.
Eclipse is putting out, and there's a bunch of Jaguar games on there.
That's right.
And I think that's going to be your happy medium on that.
It's $40 for that.
I can't wait.
$40
I'm
for
really excited to play that.
For physical, released on November 11th.
A lot of the newer inspired games look pretty good. There's a tank game that Mike Mika put on there that looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, like a 4-player combat, but but evolved
combat with the tanks.
Yes, with the tanks.
That's my legacy when I die. Fucking combat memes. Jesus Christ. Was there a special edition of 50th one or no? Was there or just?
No, I think it's just normal.
Okay, I thought there was no, there's a Steelbook edition.
Oh, there is. Okay.
There's a Steelbook, which looks. The Steelbook thing is funny because I talked to Andre about it. Andre, our buddy Andre, he likes getting the movies in Steelbook. I'm like, Andre, you're just paying extra for a metal case. A lot of these, right?
I hate Steelbooks.
It's just a slip cover, right? That's what these things are, and they look cool.
My problem with Steelbooks is they look cool, but they scratch really easily.
Oh, is that right?
And that paint just comes right off. And Steelbooks look ugly as fuck when that starts to happen. I hated them at Luna.
The Steelbook is $50. It's $10 more.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get anything else with it? It's literally the cover. Is it literally just the cover? Because you can still pre-order the Steelbook. It's not.
I know a lot of say for instance limited run games. There's the standard edition and there's the Steelbook, and it usually costs more.
Oh, you get a poster. You get the Steelbook, and the Steelbook's just the cover. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't love Atari. That if I loved Atari that much, I guess I would do it. It's gold. You get you can see the poster here. You get a poster. That's what you get.
Sure, that's cool.
But I'm gonna pick this up. This is how you do re-releases.
I'm
stuff.
very, very excited for it.
It comes full circle from they started doing this shit in the early to mid '90s with the Super Nintendo compilations, N64.
Four poorly emulated bullshit games by Midway on there that don't have the proper controllers.
I bought it. I bought an Activision Atari one. I remember at
Actually, the Activision Atari one was one that I did like back then because it was just loaded with it was just loaded with them.
It probably had 15, 20 games. I probably bought it for $20 back in 1993 or 94. I probably bought it when I was in early high school, something like that. When they started doing this stuff. More of these games that were barely 10 years old at the time. I have something to talk about. That upset me last week.
Okay.
I take my candy seriously.
Oh yeah.
And I feel that I was embarrassed on the podcast, publicly shamed over my bag of candy and my claim that the Reese's Pieces packs were hard to open. And then Ian instantly opened the package and made me feel not like a man anymore. after that.
Ridiculous.
I was publicly shamed. I felt I was canceled in a way because of this. That I could not. People were saying Pat's weak. He's an idiot. He can't open it. So I went back and I rummaged through the rest of the Reese's Pieces. What did I find?
2 without notches.
Not 1, but 2 without notches. No notch, Ian. No notch.
Oh, no notch there. Yeah.
No notch.
Let me see this one.
This one had the start of a notch, and it didn't go through. The start of a notch.
Yeah, that one does too.
Shame on you, Hershey's. Shame on you. Shame on you. You feel like if you're in bed with someone with a condom wrapper, you get desperate. You got to use your teeth. Shame on you, Hershey's. I should file a lawsuit, class action with everyone. And I had a couple people comment that said, "Hey Pat, mine didn't happen either." So this is an issue. You're not opening this without your teeth or something sharp. I tried. I'm not crazy. I am crazy, but not when it comes to this. You know what's readily accessible? Anything at ultimatenintendo.com you can get your hands on. Anything there. You can easily access the pins.
I'm not going to have to use your teeth to open those books.
No, you're not going to use your teeth to open them. If you could, that'd be awkward. There's certain guidebooks that weigh over 6 pounds, RBI baseball stickers, the limited t-shirts, all at ultimatenintendo.com. I'll be on Twitch Wednesday. Ian will not. Twitch.tv/CountryCode. And I'm on Cameo, cameo.com/PatCountry. Gamecom, Symphony of the Night was a thing. I didn't know about. Hidden Pals put out an article and they tweeted about this. I don't have a huge amount of thoughts about this. This is a Halloween thing they did for Happy Halloween. Do you have any thoughts on this, Ian? You like Symphony of the Night?
Yeah, I do. I haven't had a lot of chances to look into this yet, but I'm interested in it. I think it looks kind of decent.
The best you can say about a Gamecom game is it looks kind of decent.
Right. You actually have no idea how it's going to play. But I think it's very neat that they found it. And yeah, I mean, it does look kind of nice, but I bet you it's slow or choppy or whatever. And,
well, there's video on there, but the video is not a direct feed from like an emulator. Is there a Gamecom emulator? Must be. But
so I think they're fine. I think that's one of the more important things is I think they're finally starting to get some emulation going on it. And I guess they've just recently learned how to dump the ROMs from Gamecom games. Yeah, I think it was actually, I think that's a recent development. So
well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
See, people don't care about Gamecom. More of it's your fault out there for not caring about Gamecom. I have never owned a Gamecom. I always see it and I'm like, should I waste my money in a Gamecom? I'm like,
no,
I don't think I should.
Nope, probably not.
It looks. I mean, look at the animation. Looks okay.
I don't see the animation. I just see the screenshots.
Scroll down, Ian. Scroll.
On Twitter?
No, the Hidden Palace article. It's right there. It's right. There's 2 different links there, Ian. Second link. There's 2 links on the document. Ian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I pull
Sorry.
While you look at that, Karl Jobst, our pal, is getting sued by Billy Mitchell for a 3rd time. I can't keep track.
I just hit that link again, Patrick. There's nothing there.
It's the second link, Ian. There's 2 links, buddy.
Yes, I'm there, and I'm looking at it. There's no animation. There's 6 screenshots and some dancing skeletons.
Scroll down. Scroll, and there's a YouTube video down there. That's so weird it's not showing up for you. It's right here for me. That's what do you have, like a JavaScript disabled on the page? That's weird. Okay, I'll put the link in, Ian.
I refreshed it. There it is.
Okay. Jeez, Ian. What type of computer? I thought it was an expensive laptop.
This is really dark.
Well, it's because it's a capture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a video of it being played. So yeah, but it looks it's a port. So anyway, this comes from thegamer.com, and there's a video that Karl put out. Billy Mitchell is suing Karl Jobst over 2 videos that refer to cheating allegations against him. So there's a video in question called "Disgraced Gamer Billy Mitchell Accused of Extortion." In that video, Karl was not making any claims himself. He was just reporting on stuff that was going on. He reported on claims made by the current Donkey Kong World Record holder, Robbie Lakeman, who had previously supported Mitchell against accusations that he cheated to get his own Donkey Kong record. Lakeman is now going against Mitchell, claiming that he used an emulator to get his record. The video covers Lakeman's claims that Mitchell was extorting a witness in one of his lawsuits with sensitive information in exchange for them defending him against allegations of cheating. Lakeman also revealed that he now believes Mitchell played it on illegitimate hardware backing his detractors. So Karl's reporting on this as a reporter, and there's protections, at least in the U.S., there are protections against defamation and libel and slander when you are reporting on something. So if I report on news that someone did something shitty, I cannot be sued if I'm just reporting on it, because that would be insane. Because then you could try to sue reporters for talking about someone being charged with something or something being alleged. We have protections against that. I guess in Australia, unfortunately, they don't have those same protections for defamation, where you can easily sue people for frivolity, for stuff that would not get anywhere in courts in the U.S. In Australia, they have a chance, unfortunately, that you need at least to get lawyers to do this. So that was the first sort of lawsuit. Then the second one is even somehow more ridiculous. Did you see this, Ian?
This is the angry video game nerd portion of the lawsuit?
Yes. So there was a video.
Just insane.
A video that Karl did called "I cheated in speedrunning and need to come clean," which had nothing to do with Billy Mitchell. It was talking about how he submitted a score back to Nintendo Power magazines for an N64 game back in the day. And there's a meme that was included in here I'll just play it here, that he included. This is a meme.
You're familiar with Billy Mitchell, world video game champion? He could probably do it. So I gotta find a way to harness his power, and I think I found a way.
That's right, we're gonna cheat.
So this is a meme that was created. It got millions of views, this meme. And it splices up two different AVGN videos, which talking about Billy Mitchell, and then it splices to him using the Game Genie, and James as AVGN says, "That's right, I'm gonna cheat." So Karl included that as a joke in the video, so he's also getting sued for that on top of it. So these are frivolous lawsuits, but unfortunately,
hugely,
as he talks about in the video, he's already spent 6 figures on lawyers, Karl, for the other lawsuit. So there's a GoFundMe set up. I will link it. So please contribute even $10, because you can't allow people to sue others for absolutely nothing like this, and try to, like, if you allow us to happen, people can be silenced because they don't have money to defend themselves, and you can't let this stuff happen. It's insane that it would come to that. And as Karl pointed out in his video, the person that made the meme hasn't been sued. The other that's got millions of views, like the meme itself, the video that's on YouTube. It's just nuts. There's also, I guess, Todd Rogers chicanery that we don't have time to go into, but there's other stuff going on with that as well. Check out Karl's videos in the past week and a half.
Nintendo Switch, real quick, has crossed 114 million units sold. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe nears 50 million units sold.
Wow.
That's like a 40% attach rate, 45% attach rate. That's insane.
Let's do the pat math on that directly. But that might be a record for attach rate. I have no idea, because I know that I think Mario Kart on the Wii hit about 30 million. I never got to 50. I think it got into the 30s. I looked that up. So that's nuts. I mean, it's an amazing game. Like I said, I don't know if that could ever be topped for a Mario Kart. Like, I think it's a perfect game, personally. But yeah. I mean, it's still going strong. We're 5.5.
43% attach rate.
That's nuts. That's insane.
I'm sorry, 44% attach rate, round up.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Think about that. And
one out of every 2 fucking Switch owners has this game.
And you're not counting for people that might own, like, households that own multiple Switches or get the Switch Lite. So that number, that attach rate, in essence, is even higher. I'm not saying it's going to go for 50, but it's probably a couple percentage points even higher than that.
Sure. Yeah, you're right.
Just think about your household.
Yeah, think about that. Yeah. People buy multiple systems.
Yeah.
For instance, we have it, but we have 2 systems in the house.
I have a Switch Lite and a Switch, and I have 1 copy of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's really, I'm not gonna harp on the fact that all those idiots that were wrong. I won't do that.
Not this time.
No. We should be, I'd say, happy for Nintendo, but it was a bigger turnaround than even people like us gave it credit for. We didn't think it'd be like a smash to this success, where you're talking about this maybe inching up to like PS2 records at some point, if it keeps on this. Like, it could. I'm not saying it will, but it's nuts.
I don't think we're going to reach PS2, but it certainly gave it the old college try.
And especially during a pandemic, when for a while,
I feel like during the pandemic is what helped it more than hurt it. But it did affect supplies.
But they couldn't. There wasn't enough to sell, though, for a long time, for like a year and a half. even at the beginning, there wasn't enough to sell. Obviously, it took me. I didn't get one until Mario Kart 8 came out. So that was like what, 3 months in, 4 months in. That's when I finally found it. When I found it at was it Target? Is that where I got it from? Mine? Yeah, I think I got mine at Target finally. I think that's what happened. Yeah, I used that good old Target red card, get 5% off. I did. That's the only thing Target's. I love Target because they send me in the mail once a year. Hey, you haven't used your Target card in a while. We're going to shut it off.
Here's a coupon.
No, they say we're going to shut off your card if you don't use it.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, okay, I better use my Target card for something. So I find something to save because you get 5% off. So yeah, so it was good for that because on a $300 item, you're saving Pat at $15. So it's like that's worth it to use the card on that. Yeah, so we'll see if it hits 120, 125. I think you got another couple years in the Switch at this point. You got a couple of years left. It's not slowed down that much.
1 or 2.
Because you still have whenever the hell Metroid Prime 4 is going to come out. You still got that.
I bet you it gets pushed to the next console.
You think so?
Yes.
I think at this point they're going to do that. They're going to pull Breath of the Wild on it. They're just going to say no. We're going to wait like another year. I still think you're going to see a Star Fox. Either the old one's going to be redone from the Wii U. They're going to do a new one. And yeah, you got a couple of bullets left in the chamber when it comes to the Switch.